on in for episode 2 of our what does Auntie say? And not just me, not just what do I say, but what do all of you say as aunties and uncles as well. And hopefully you guys had a chance to listen to the video of the young lady that called in and asked for our help. If not, I'm going to play it right here, right now. It's a quick video. It's only a minute long. And then after I play the video, I'm going to chime in and give my advice. I'm also going to go through a lot of y'all's comments and advice you also gave this young lady, because a lot of it was really, really good advice. And I absolutely want to highlight that, especially since I'm not doing a live. I want to highlight it here in this video. So let's go ahead real quick and play this video for those of you who are here who haven't had a chance to listen to it yet.
Hi, YouTube and Aunt Deborah. Here's a little bit of my background. I am a 25-year-old virgin with no dating experience. I grew up in a pretty sheltered home with both parents. My father died when I was 16. I recognize that I have mother wounds, low self-esteem, and am plus size. I'm currently in university pursuing an industrial engineering degree. I know that you're also a woman in STEM, so yay to women in STEM. I have a job waiting for me in another state when I graduate this coming spring. The plan is to start my big girl job, lose weight, and decide what graduate degree I want to pursue. My question to you and the YouTuber and the aunt and uncles in the comments is, where should I start with my womanhood journey? My mother never taught me. She just expected me to know. When I say womanhood, I mean dating, self-esteem, dating as a dark-skinned woman, and any beauty advice. I want to thank you for all your advice, and thank to those aunts and uncles in the comments for their advice.
Okay, there it is. Very, very a sweet young lady. Very sweet young lady. I could tell she was a little bit nervous or reaching out to us. So we definitely going to wrap her in a love blanket and let her know that this is a safe space. Let's just go over her point. She says she was a 25-year-old virgin with no dating experience. She feels as if she was sheltered by both her parents. Her father passed when she was 16 years old. She feels she has low self-esteem. She does acknowledge that she believes she has some mother wounds. She says that she's a plus-size woman. She's pursuing an industrial engineering degree. A yay to the women in STEM, absolutely. She's going to be graduating in spring. She's going to be taking another job in another state. And she did drop down in the comments to let me know, or she texted me to let her know that she's going to be moving to Texas, the great state of Texas. She says she also is going to start thinking about pursuing a graduate degree. And she wants to know from all of us aunties and uncles, where should she start on her womanhood journey? She says her mom didn't teach her everything that she needs to know. A welcome to the party. None of us mothers did teach our daughters. Our mothers didn't teach us everything. Welcome to the party, young lady. That's where we all began. And she says, hey, she wants some advice on where she should begin her womanhood journey. And that includes dating, a self-esteem, and dating as a dark-skinned woman as well. You know, I've been thinking a lot about this. I didn't really know where to start with the advice. You know, it's a big job. It's a big job being an auntie in this moment and holding this young woman in your hands, where I know she's going to depend on us and she's going to listen to the things that we say, because no one writes in who really doesn't want to hear what you have to say. So I wanted to make sure that whatever I said was done with a sober mind and done with care and concern for her. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this as an auntie years past this young lady. When she talks about where she should start her womanhood journey, I'm going to go back a little bit, because one of the things I really want women to know who are on journeys is what is waiting for you at the end of your journey. Because I think once you know what's waiting for you at the end of your journey, it can actually help craft your journey. It's almost like saying, where are we going? Right? Where are we going? You have to kind of know where you're going in order to plan your journey to that place. So in a lot of ways, you have to describe your destination. You have to say, I want to go to a place where there is a white sand beaches, let's say a vacation, white sand beaches, blue skies, aqua blue water. And then from there, now that you know your destination and you've envisioned where you want to go, you have to say, okay, where is that place and how do I get there? And what do I need to pack so when I get there, I'll be ready. I'll have the right swimsuit. I'll have money to spend on the trip. I'll know what plane ticket to buy. I'll know what airport to leave from, what airport to land in. Do I need a rental car? See, then you'll start getting into actually planning your journey. But before you can start planning your womanhood journey, you also got to know where you're going, right? And then you got to know a little bit about the place where you're going, right? Because in order to plan your journey, you got to not only know where you're going, but you also kind of have to know what to expect when you get to that place, because then you can prepare yourself for that. And that's what a journey is all about, whether it's womanhood or anything. It's about preparing yourself for a journey to an end destination of where you want to go. So I would say this first, that this young lady has to describe her destination. She's got to describe to me where she's trying to go. What does she want her life to look like in 30 years? You see, she's got to start there, because once I know what she wants her life to look like in 30 years, then you can start saying, okay, these are the things you're going to need to get there in 30 years. Let me tell you something about people my age, actually people younger than me. When you start to get around the age of 40, this is when it starts happening in your group. I'm older than 40, way older than 40, but I think it started happening around 40 in my friend circle, in my own life, in lives around people who are your peers. You start to realize that people start spending a lot of their time in their 40s unraveling things they did in their 20s and 30s. Hear me out. In their 40, they're actually starting to realize that everything they've been doing between their 20s and 30s didn't get them to where they want to be in their 40s. So here they are in their 40s, they've arrived at this place, and they're saying, man, this isn't really where I want to be at 40. This isn't what I really wanted for my life. But then as they look back at all the decisions they made to get there, they start to say, no wonder I'm here. Because their steps did not lead to where they wanted to be at 40 or 50 or 60 or whatever age, really. What they really probably should have done was spend more time crafting where they wanted to go and then building a pathway, building a journey to get where they want to go. But unfortunately, that's not how people live their life. Because, when people are young, we're often told, go for it, be bold, do this, do what you want, live life on the edge, live like a cavalier, live life dangerously. That's kind of what we encourage. Go for your dreams, shoot for the stars. And I'm not saying that none of that should happen in our lives. But we also have to think about, if we do all of those things, some of the things that people are encouraging us to do in our 20s, will it get us to where we want to be in our 40s? And oftentimes people have found out when they reach 40 or 50 that the answer is no. That they did a whole lot of stuff over here in their 20s and 30s, but it didn't get them to where they wanted to be in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, or whatever. People spend a whole lot of time when they get to 40 unraveling bad decisions they made in their 20s and 30s. So when I start talking about crafting a journey to womanhood or crafting a journey to anywhere, what you really have to do is make sure that the decisions you are making are going to lead to the path of where you want to be. Because if the decisions you're making don't lead to where you're going, if I book a plane ticket to Cancun, okay, and I figure out a pathway and how to get to Cancun, but I really didn't want to go to Cancun, I was trying to go to Kenya, Africa, what good does it do? It didn't get me to where I was going. Sure, maybe Cancun may be a cool place. It may be decent. It may be okay. But it's not where I really want it to be. It's not really where I want it to be. I mean to tell you, there are so many people who are spending their 40s and 50s unraveling bad decisions from their 20s and 30s. They're having to suffer through having kids with the wrong person, having been in relationships they should have never been in, having to unravel relationships, having to make bad career decisions, having made bad business decisions, having made bad money decisions. Sometimes the journey you're trying to craft is also about being a very good decision maker. A very good decision maker, right? Making decisions that you're not going to have to pay for later. And that's part of growing up. Because when you're young and you make poor decisions, when you're a child or you're a teenager, you know who pays for the bad decisions? Your parents. That's what parents are for. Parents are there to keep kids and children from making poor decisions, because what parents know is that in the end, it's going to be the parent that is going to have to make up for the poor decision that the child makes. Because when you're a child, a lot of times you can't pay the consequences of your bad decisions. You can't. You're just too young. Oftentimes it's for your parents to come in and pick up the pieces. That's probably why her parent tried to shelter her, because she didn't want her child to make too many wrong decisions, because part of the reason was she didn't want her child being harmed too much later in life. And also her parent probably realized that any bad decisions she makes, more than likely as a child, is the parent who typically has to come in and pick up the pieces. But once you get older, part of going into adulthood is that guess who pays for all the wrong decisions, the bad decisions that you make? You pay for those decisions. It becomes your consequences. And that's why becoming a good decision maker, I believe, is a cornerstone to any journey you're on. It is a cornerstone to learn how to make good decisions, because the better decisions you make on your journey leading to where you want to go, then there's less that you have to correct and keep correcting over and over again and making up for the wrong decisions. So now once you know where you want to go on your womanhood journey or any journey, you've figured out your destination, you've looked at your vision and where you want to be when you're 30 or 40 or 50. And all these things can change over time. They really can. They can change over time. But when you're starting on your journey, you still got to have a destination. You got to know where you're going. You got to have a vision of what you want your life to look like. Then the next thing you say to yourself is, I want to make sure I make the right decisions to get me where I want to go. But what comes along that makes people make poor decisions? Because nobody's setting out in the world on their journey and say, I just want to make a bunch of poor decisions. No one's doing that. No one goes out in life and purposely says, I just want to make a bunch of poor decisions, but then I want to get to where I want to go. Most people aren't aware of the poor decisions they're making. They're not. They're not aware, or they're not aware of how maybe poorly the decisions are. They don't even know what they're doing. And they don't really recognize it or understand it until afterwards they realize, dang, I shouldn't have done that. Dang, I shouldn't have chosen him. Dang, I shouldn't have worked there. Dang, I shouldn't have had kids with him. Dang, I shouldn't have done this. They don't know till it's over. Some decisions that we make, we can course correct very easily. We can. There are some decisions that we make that are bad decisions that they're easy to fix. There's some decisions that we make that are poor decisions that takes us a long time to dig from under. Long time. You know, people make bad financial decisions. Oh, I overspent on my credit card. I'm going to have to spend the next 3 months paying it off. Some people make poor decisions financially for a long time. Next thing they know, they're having to file bankruptcy. That takes longer to get out from under. Some people have kids with the wrong person. Guess what? You got 18 years with that man. You got 18 years trying to parent with that man. That's a long time. Sure, your child is a blessing to you. Sure, you love your children, but now you've got to deal with a person who you really don't co-parent with. That's a decision that takes a long time to correct. That's why good decision making is very, very important. Sometimes people choose the wrong career. They start off in the wrong major for 2 years. They go, oh, you know what? I really don't like this career. Sure, I might have wasted 2 years in college, but I've only wasted 2 years. I'm going to go back and course correct and pick another career, right? So decision making saves you a lot of time having to double back on poor decisions. That's why you have to be very good decision making on any journey you're going on. Any journey. So I want to talk about, especially because she's a STEM major and she gonna understand this methodical way in which I think. I'm really relaxed and speaking with this young lady because she's a STEM major. She understands the logic side of my brain. She understands it. She understands that we've got to combine logic with the heart. Okay? That we can't be single-minded. We can't be all logic and no heart, and we can't be all heart and emotion and no logic. You've got to marry the two. Okay, oftentimes when we make poor decisions, it's just one part of us thinking. Sometimes it's just our head and we're not thinking with our heart too. We cannot become compassionate. And then sometimes we're thinking completely with our emotions and we're not using the head, and that can also cause us to make poor decisions. So you want to be sober-minded. You want to be able to balance the heart with the head, okay? You want to be able to do both on your journey to womanhood, to anywhere else. You want to always try to balance your heart, your passion, your love, your emotions, along with your head and your logic. You want to try to create some healthy balance between the two. But in order to make a good decision, you got to educate yourself. You got to know where you're going. You got to know what to expect over there. And to educate yourself, you got to seek information. You got to seek wise counsel, just like this young lady is doing. You got to ask for help. You know, she mentioned that her mother didn't prepare her or didn't give her all the information that she wanted. That's every mother. That's all of us. That's everyone out here. Because you know what? What the old saying says, it takes a village. It takes a village. No parent can completely prepare their child for everything. Parents sometimes just do the best they can with what they have. As we grow into adulthood, it is our job on your journey to womanhood to do exactly what this young lady is doing, to assess yourself and see what are the things that I did get from my mother that were valuable to me, that will help me on my journey, but also saying, what are some of the things that I didn't get from my parents? And let me tell you, you're going to have both lists. Everyone's going to have both lists. Some people might have gotten more from their parents than others. That means those people who didn't get as much from their parents are going to need to go out and seek that information from other people more often. There's other mothers out here. There are other mothers out here, just like we're being an auntie to this young lady right now. There are other aunties, there are other uncles, okay? Which means she can absolutely go out and find the information that she did not receive from her mother. It doesn't have to limit her. It may be her beginning, but it doesn't mean that's where she has to stay. But part of that is educating yourself and knowing and recognizing I'm missing a few things. I'm missing a few pieces of the puzzle that will help me be great on my journey to wherever I'm going, and to go out and seek that information, to be inquisitive. See, a lot of people start in a place, but what they forget to do is they forget to say, sure, this is where I'm starting, but I know the information is out there that I need to be great. I know the information is out there that I need to know to get to where I'm going, but I have to have a thirst for that information. I have to have the wherewithal, the need, the desire to go out and seek the information I need to get me to the journey of where I want to go. I don't need to fumble around out here. I really don't. The answers are out here. There's billions of people in this world, and let me tell you, they have the answers to the things that you need to get to where you're going. You just have to find them. You just have to seek them out. And when you seek them out, when you ask the right questions, when you talk to people, the knowledge will come to you. It will be brought into your life. Okay, there's a spiritual aspect to that. Prayer, bringing things unto you. But first of all, you got to speak for it and you got to ask for it. And that's what ushers it into you. To make good decisions, you know what else you have to be? You got to be confident. You got to be confident. That's where it starts, with having a healthy self-esteem. So if I'm going to tell this young lady anything, I'm going to say that in order to get to the journey where you want to go, in order to map out the journey to where you want to go, the pathway to get there, I said you got to make good decisions. But in order to make good decisions, you got to be confident. In order to be confident, you have to have a healthy self-esteem. You got to believe in yourself. You gotta know that you're worth something. You gotta know that you're valuable. You gotta know that you deserve that journey, that destination you've put up on your vision board. You gotta know all that. And to know all of that, that means you have to have healthy self-esteem. So on any journey you're going on, whether it's a career journey, a journey to womanhood, whatever, it's gonna start with you believing in yourself. Because along your journey, you're going to get a lot of naysayers. There's going to be people who tell you you can't do what you want to do. Listen, when I started first going to engineering, you know how many people told me I couldn't be an engineer? You know how many people told me that? You know how many people told me that's too hard of a major, maybe you ought to pick another major? I had to believe in myself. And I had to surround myself with other people who believed in me as well. To build your self-esteem, not only do you have to believe in yourself, you also have to surround yourself with people who believe in you. Find your tribe. Find the tribe that believes in you, that will encourage you, that even when you get down on yourself, they will lift you up. That goes back to making good decisions, making good decisions on who your friends are. When you're in the beginning of a journey, you want people to encourage you. You want to make sure you have good discernment. You want to make sure you make good decisions on who your friends are, so that your friends are helping you get to where you want to go. And your friends aren't just using you, but it's a mutual beneficial relationship. That not only are you helping your friends get to where they want to go, your friends are helping you. That's healthy balance. So you want to have a good, healthy self-esteem. You want to have good confidence. You want to have a sense of security. Security is very, very important. Security is not making you afraid. Okay? Because it's hard to make good decisions. It's hard to be bold. It's hard to step out and do things if you always live in fear, right? You have to have a healthy sense of security in your life. Knowing who you are, knowing whose you are, knowing that people love you and care for you. Knowing that there are going to be people there who are going to be willing to pick you up when you fall. That's building your circle. And sometimes, let me tell you, that circle isn't always your immediate family. Sometimes you're born into a family, but the family you were born into, the family doesn't contain all the things you're going to need to get to that destination you're talking about. You need to sometimes look outside of your family. Look to friends. Look to family of friends. If you have a good girlfriend and you think your mother was lacking some skills or something that you needed, look at your girlfriend's mothers. Maybe that mother will be interested in mothering you in certain areas of your life. Maybe you can learn from your friend's mother. Don't be afraid. Sometimes maybe you didn't have a father. She says her father died when she was only 16 years old. Maybe your friend has a father that's still around, and maybe that father is also willing to father you in some respect. It takes a village. We're not always given every player in our life. Everyone doesn't have every player in their life. So it's our job to assess what you have and then go out and seek the rest that you need in safe, secure places. Because all of these things are the foundation. All these things, self-confidence, self-esteem, security, feeling as if you belong. These things are the cornerstones, the foundations to helping you make good decisions later on that will help you reach and go on the journey you want to go on to reach the destination that you want to eventually be at. Like I said, make good decisions now. Set your foundation so that the decisions you make help propel you forward and they don't drag you back. So that when you get to be 40 years old, you're not saying, wow, I have a long list of bad decisions. I learned my lessons too late. Some people learned lessons too late. Some things they can never unravel. Never unravel. You want to avoid that. You don't want to be scared to make bad decisions. Of course, you want to be bold, but you also want to make good decisions. Good decisions. And self-esteem, oftentimes nowadays we hear building your self-esteem. But one of the things I'm finding out here in the world is a lot of people have healthy self-esteem, but they also don't have a healthy respect and understanding of their weaknesses. Because you know what? It can work both ways. People with low self-esteem can do damage in their lives. But let me tell you, people who also don't have a healthy understanding of their weaknesses can also cause problems in their life. That's what I'm talking about. Balance is key. As an engineer, she may know the term a SWOT: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That's what you need for your life. You absolutely need to know your strengths. Write down all your strengths. But you also need to know your weaknesses, because your weaknesses are the areas in which you want to work on to get better. You want to know your opportunities in your life. But you also want to know your weaknesses, where that may put you in danger. Those are your threats. You need to know all of that in order to build yourself a journey, a pathway forward to where you want to go. And when you write down your strengths and your weaknesses, it does two things for you. One is, a lot of people want to always concentrate on their weaknesses. No. Also know your strengths, because sometimes you got to lean on your strengths. Sometimes your strengths are what propel you forward. You don't want to over concentrate all the time on all your weaknesses, because I know there's a thing out here where people want to make people believe that we all need to be perfect. She mentioned she's a plus size woman. She mentioned these things about she's a dark skinned woman in dating. So what? There are lots. Listen, I'm a dark skinned woman in dating. I never had a problem attracting men, because you know what I said was, listen, I don't care if society thinks being a dark-skinned woman is a weakness in dating. I don't even care if they think it or if it's true, because I don't need every man to like me. I don't need every man to love me. I don't need every man to think I'm attractive. I only need a good man. One good man. I'm not going to concentrate on what I'm not. I'm going to concentrate on my strength of what I am, especially for something that I can't change. I can't change my dark skin. I'm not going to go out there and bleach my skin. So I'm going to concentrate on my strengths and what I bring to a dating table. I'm not going to concentrate on what people may say is my weakness in dating, and that I'm a dark-skinned woman. I don't need everybody to like my dark skin. I really don't. It doesn't bother me. It's not limiting me. It's like going to a buffet. I don't even go to buffets. You know why I don't go to buffets that much? Because I can't eat all this food. What difference does it make if you have all these things to eat in this buffet? I can't eat it all anyway. I'm only going to put a few things on my plate because my stomach can only hold so much. That's like dating. I don't need to appeal to every man. Every man doesn't need to find me attractive. So as a result, I don't need to over concentrate on being a perfect out here for the world or for society, because I don't need the whole society to accept me. I need to do enough that I feel confident about myself. Because once I feel confident about myself and I lean on my strengths, that will draw the men unto me. My confidence will draw those men unto me, and it will draw upon the right man. I don't want to be drawing the wrong man anyway. I want to draw the right man to me. But in order to be confident about yourself, you got to feel good about yourself too. But you also do have to know your weaknesses. When it comes to something like your weight, that is different from the way of your skin color. I can't change my skin color. But your weight, you do have some control over that. You do have some control over that. You may never be a size 6. You may never be a size 4. But I guarantee you can drop 15, 20, 30 pounds if you're a plus size woman. Absolutely, you can do it. So although you don't want to lament over the fact that you're not a 4 or 6, in your weakness part of your weight, you can say, you know what, but I can lose 20 pounds. And when you lose that 20 pounds, guess what's going to happen? You're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to feel more confident. You're going to raise your self-esteem. And once you raise your self-esteem, guess what happens? You're going to make better decisions in dating. Because you're going to feel you're worth more. You're going to feel more valued. Because you're going to value yourself more. When you take care of this temple, when you take care of your own temple, which is your body, then guess what happens? You then expect other people to take care of it. But when you don't take care of your own body and you don't value your body and you're not trying to be the best you can be, then guess what? Then you let other people treat you like crap. You let other people treat you like, and like I keep saying, it starts with self-esteem and self-confidence, and you got to build that. And if you're a plus size woman and there is room for you to lose weight, nobody's saying you got to be a size 4. No one's saying you got to be a size 6. But we all got room for improvement. And when we improve, We feel better about ourselves. And when we feel better about ourselves, we enter the world differently. And when we enter the world differently, we make better decisions. And when we make better decisions, we get on our journey faster and we get to going where we want to go to. And because we made better decisions, then there's less unraveling we have to do. You see the pathway? Do you see the pathway? Life is sometimes like your GPA. You're in school. What happens if you go to school and the first whole year you getting D's and F's in school or low grades and your GPA is low? And you say, but I want to graduate with at least a 3.0. Well, you just spent all year getting D's and F's. What does that mean? Now you got to hit a bunch of A's. Now you got to get a lot of A's. So now your D's and your C's balance out with those A's. So by the time you graduate, you got a 3.0 average. What I'm saying to you is try not to have the D's and the F's. Try not to have the D's and the F's the first year. Then you don't have to have a whole lot of winners. You don't have to be a 4.0 student so that by the time you graduate, you're a 3.0. Try to avoid some of these pitfalls out here that other people fall into. And that comes with making good decisions. Right now, you're 25 years old. You're a virgin with no dating experience. And I'm going to say right now, your first thing is to work on your self-esteem, your confidence. Build that first. Build that first. If you got a health plan, I want you to get some therapy to help you with those mother wounds. If you got some therapy, if you got health care for that pays for therapy, get some therapy with the mother wounds. You're saying you're about to start a new job in 6 months. Well, when you start that new job, it's going to come with some health care. And that health care is going to have an opportunity for you to get some therapy. And I want you to get therapy. Everybody should get therapy. And let me tell you, the sooner you get through therapy, the sooner you start dealing with the wounds of your childhood, the less bad decisions you can make. Let me tell you, I wish I had gotten therapy early in my life because it probably would have saved me for some decisions I made I wish I hadn't made. Okay, the sooner you can get in therapy, the more it helps you not make the wrong decisions. And like I said, the less wrong decisions you can make, the less unraveling you got to do when you get in your 40s and your 50s. So as soon as you get that health care, whether you have it now or you have it in 6 months when you graduate, get some therapy to help you with those mother wounds. Okay? Find another woman to also help mother you. Look amongst your girlfriends. If you don't have any girlfriends, I want you to join some women's group. Try to build some good, close relationships with some other women. Some peers your age. Maybe they have good mothers. And maybe that woman can also help mother you. Draft your plan. Be intentional. People often talk about here about intentional dating. I want intentional friendships. Intentional friendships. Not just intentional dating of men, intentional friendship. Let's not keep living life cavalier and then wait 10 years to realize none of the stuff we've been doing for the last 10, 15 years is really helping me now. No, intentionality. Be intentional about what you do. Go on a health journey. I want to see it. If you say you're a plus size woman, I want you in the gym. I want you changing your diet. I want you changing your eating habits. I want you to get with someone who can help you with that. Whether you go on that journey with a girlfriend and you say, hey, let's start eating together. Hey, let's go on a fast together. Let's start getting rid of sugar. Let's do it together. Changing your diet, getting on a health plan. I'm telling you, it's hard. It is hard and you need a partner. It's hard to do it by yourself. Find you a partner who wants to go on the health journey with you. Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel ashamed. And don't let being ashamed make you suffer by yourself and not do it because you don't have a partner. Find someone who wants to go on the journey with you. Like I said, be intentional in your friendships. And you don't need to get the same thing from one friend. You need to have a village of friends. Don't rely upon one friend to be everything to you. Okay? Don't do that. Because no one can be everything to you. Have various types of friends that help you on various parts of your journey. Round out your life. Be intentional about who you allow in your life. People not only who can pour into you and help you on parts of your journey, but people that you can also help on their journey. Be intentional. I want you to invest in both not only your education, but I also want you to also absolutely invest in your style, your beauty, all of that. Absolutely. You're 25 years old. You're 25 years old. Do you want children? Do you want children? Oftentimes we tell women to focus solely on their careers, solely on this, solely getting the money, solely this. And then they wake up at 40 years old and realize, wow, I didn't put any effort into my relationships with men. You're not quite ready for that yet, because I want you to work a little bit more on your self-esteem. But I want you to keep in your head, I want you to be on a fast track with your self-esteem. I don't want you to be working on your self-esteem for 10 years. No, be intentional. I want you on a fast track for that, because I want you to start getting in the dating world. I do. I want to get you start dating, but I need you to be prepared for dating. I need you to be healthy and solid before you start dating, but I absolutely want you to get into the dating world soon. You're 25 years old. It's time to get out there and start dating, but I want you to have the foundation before you start dating, but you absolutely need to get out there and start dating if you want kids, if you want a family, if you want a husband. Okay? Because let me tell you something. Another thing, being an older woman. You can work your whole life. Your whole life. No one is ever going to tell you you can't work. Okay? But you really do have a small window in the scheme of things to have children. Really, our childbearing years as women really are from, say, when we're mentally maybe prepared for women, maybe a 23 to all the way up to, say, a 42. You're only talking about 20 years, 19 years. 19 years of childbearing. But let me tell you, you could work for 50 years. 50 years if you want to. Work ain't going nowhere. Work is not going nowhere, but them eggs could dry up. Them eggs could dry up. The men can become short. The men can go away. So you absolutely need to know how to multitask. You cannot stay on a career track for all the way up until you 35, 40 years old and then say, oh, all of a sudden I want kids and I want to get married and I need that to happen in a year. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You need to be thinking about, when I talk about those end destinations, if you want to get married and you want to have kids, you need to start thinking about it now, and you need to start preparing yourself immediately. Immediately. 25 years old, absolutely. You need to start working on these foundations: self-esteem, confidence, building your self-esteem, your confidence, all the things I told you, so that you can start making good decisions in the dating world. But you need that foundation first. You absolutely need that foundation first, because if you don't have that foundation first and you enter into the dating world, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. Some bad mistakes that you can't unravel, or you will be the woman I'm talking about when she reaches 40 something, 50 years old. She's trying to unravel all those bad decisions from her early 20s. So I want the foundation first with you. I absolutely do. So now I want to go over a few of these comments that showed up down here from all the other aunties and uncles, because there's some good stuff and I want to make some comments, but I want to highlight them. The first one I want to talk about is from El Ramey. She says, I know you're absolutely beaming that she's in school to be an engineer. You know I am, El Ramey. You know I am beaming from ear to ear. Another young Black woman in the STEM industry. And let me tell you, it's not a lot of us. It is not a lot of us. So I also want to encourage you to join organizations. If you're not, like National Society of Black Engineers, you need a village. You need someone where you can see other people that look like you to know that it's possible. Be sure to join some Black organizations, some Black STEM organization. I was part of National Society of Black Engineers when I was in college and even a little bit after college. So definitely look at that. This young lady is headed places and sounds like she has a good head on her shoulders. I agree. I would ask, does she have good girlfriends that she really admires? I agree, El Ramey. Get you a good friend circle like I talked about. Maybe she can ask, can she talk with the mothers? Me and El Ramey on the same page. Maybe if they have local classes about self-discovery in her town. Also, YouTube has a lot of bloggers. I watch that talks about femininity, coming out of your shell, all those types of things. I absolutely agree. These young people have a heads up on me when I was young. I didn't have YouTube. I didn't have the internet. Okay? We had to find what we needed in whatever little circle we were in. You guys have a whole world at your disposal. I mean, you talk about the information age. There's so much information, but we got to be able to use it carefully and wisely, but it is there. And you do have to have the discernment to know when you're getting good information and when you're getting bad information. But the information is there to help you. At Monty NT, I'm amazed that her story is almost exactly my story 20 years ago, except I lost my mother instead at young adult age. Everything else exactly the same. Sheltered engineering, plus size, etc. I can't hear your response. That's the thing when I'm talking about not being ashamed. You're not alone. Any journey we're on, let me tell you something, someone else has been on the same journey. And sometimes that's half the battle, knowing that you're not alone, that you're not the first. And when you know you're not at the first and you know other people made it through it, and it gives you encouragement to know, hey, I may be here now. This may have been the cards that I'm dealt, but it doesn't have to be the end of my story. Plenty of people have made their way out of this situation. Plenty of people have made their way out of this beginning. How did they get out of where I am? Where you start does not have to dictate where you end. Okay? But you do take an assessment of where you start. And then what you start doing is you talk to people. You figure out how to get from where you start to where you want to go. Emmanuel 828. I'm 27 and have been discovering things along the way of dating. I still need help. Look forward to Auntie tips. Absolutely. It's a journey. It absolutely is a journey. Let me tell you, as a woman, as a female, you grow every 5 years. Every 5 years, you don't stop learning. I'm still learning. Still learning. Sure, I'm giving advice here, giving tips here for a road I've already traveled on, but there's a road I haven't even traveled on. I have women older than me who help prepare me for the road ahead of where I'm going. We all need to have people who we talk to, who've been on the road we're on, who are traveling on the same road we're on. But we also need to look back and give a few tips to people who are on a road that we've been on. We need both. We need to look forward, and we also need to pay it back. Pay it back to other women so maybe they can avoid some of the pitfalls that are the roadblocks or the obstacles we ran into. TP Lewis, I love how self-aware she is. I will recommend 2 other channels on being a Chloe, hypergamy, self-worth, and Chrissy Dark Skin Womanhood. Congrats and good luck. Self-awareness, the ability to know that you need help and to go seek the help. Absolutely, very important. How many times do I talk about this on my videos where people out here have no self-awareness? They're not even aware of their weaknesses. It goes back to the SWOT. You absolutely need to know your strengths, but you also need to be aware of your weaknesses. Because if you're not aware of your weaknesses, then you're not going to spend any time on them trying to get better, and then your weaknesses ultimately will keep holding you back. You've got to learn how to learn your lessons. The fact that she came here, the fact that she asked for help, says she was willing to be self-aware enough to know that she doesn't have all the answers. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, TP Lewis. Meyer Chick 89, I hear a bit about myself and this young woman. I had to figure out things on my own, and I'm still a work in progress. Best advice for her is to build and maintain healthy eating habits and an active lifestyle. Health is wealth, and it comes before hair, lashes, makeup, fashion, etc. Pour into yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually before you start dating. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Exactly what I'm saying. Health is wealth. Health is absolutely wealth. Nourish yourself. Heal yourself from the inside out. I agree. Don't start with the lashes. Don't start with all that stuff. Start with your insides first. Health is wealth. What you put in your body. A healthy lifestyle. Alice the Great. Good morning, Miss Deborah. I'm so excited to hear the new advice video. I can't wait to hear your advice. Deborah, I'll be sending you some AI tools that can use to edit this video and mask their voice. Oh, Alice the Great, yes, that's for my next video. I got a video in. I absolutely have to mask the voice. I also been so you can suggest something comparable or have an idea of what you're used to. I found an AI too, Alice the Great. Thank you. I'm taking your advice on that. I'm going to be doing that. I'll probably upload that video maybe tomorrow. You could ask this young lady what state she'll be moving to. It's Texas. She wrote back. She must have seen your question already because she wrote back and said she's moving to Texas. I know some STEM organizations in Boston. NSBE, they're all over. National Society of Black Engineers. And I know they have local chapters. Absolutely. Lastly, does she have any particular dating questions, or does she just want general advice to boost her confidence? We're starting with boosting the confidence first. We're not ready to let her out in the world of dating. Not yet. We want her to spend some time boosting her confidence, but I don't want her spending 5 years. Absolutely not. I want her in the gym. I want her on a dieting plan. I want her on a healthy lifestyle plan. I want her doing all these things right away, because I don't want her to spend 5 years dragging her feet and getting prepared for dating because she's 25. So I want her on the fast track, getting therapy, all that stuff. El Ramy, let's get into this. Annette Bowles, while I was in college, 18, my mom died from cancer and my dad died from a stroke-related issues when I was 20. A maternal aunt gave me limited help. Try Jesus. We all have a void that only he can fill, which leads us to wholeness in every area of our lives. No mention of friends. Christian, emotional maturity. Friend is a God sent. In lieu of close friendships, I recommend a good therapist to primarily help you engage in socializing and attaining true friendships before you start any dating. She should have the following qualities to help you specifically: a Christian woman of God, same race as you, age 40 to 60, married 10 years or more, bachelor's degree at the least. All very, very good advice, Annette Bowles. All very good advice. These are foundational things that Annette is talking about. These are foundational things that help you build, to where you're going. I love it all. I love all of this. Blue Giraffe, the young woman said that she grew up sheltered. I am not sure if that means a Christian home or not. The message that has been put on my heart for her is, if you are a true believer and Jesus, please do not ever be ashamed of being a virgin, whether you are 25 or 45. I agree with that. Following the actual commandments of our Messiah will make you set apart and feel very out of place in this world because you're not of it. There are a lot of societal norms, even allowed in today's churches, that will lead you down the wide road of destruction, mentally, physically, and spiritually. I agree with that. I agree that you have to fortify yourself. Okay? I don't know if she's a Christian or not, but I agree with you. You have to find what you can stand on, which is going to be your rock and your foundation. For many of us, it is Christianity. It is God. It is God. But society will try to rip you apart and tear you down. It really will. There are a lot of things going on out here in the world that are trying to prevent us from getting to where we want to go. Okay? But we've got to recognize those pitfalls. We've got to recognize those people. In order to recognize it, in order to have the discernment, in order to have the wherewithal, we've got to fortify ourselves. And that's what we're all talking about: building your self-esteem, building your confidence, surrounding yourself with people who are your tribe, who are going to support you, who are giving you wise counsel. Blue Giraffe goes on to say, know that you have been fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God, our creator, whatever shape, size, tone, hair type you are. Yes, know that you are loved. Know that you offer value. Know that you are worthy, no matter how you were born or what you look like. Whether you are a believer or not, please protect your heart and mind as well as your body, as they are all precious things. Pray first that the right person will be put before you and that the Lord would give you great discernment. Do not be fooled just because a person shows you attention or goes along with anything that makes you feel uncomfortable just to please them. I love that. I love that. Sometimes we are in a season of waiting and growing, and it's not the right time for things we may desire, like a relationship. So just be patient. Also, some things are held back for our protection that will seem good in the moment, that will cause us harm in the long run. Woo, she over here preaching. Whoever Blue Giraffe is, they're preaching. And that's what I'm telling you. A lot of people, when they get in their 40s and 50s, they're actually talking about what Blue Giraffe is talking about. That we went after it in the beginning because we didn't give it discernment. We didn't think about it. We didn't know what we wanted. We weren't coming into it in the right frame of mind. And then later on, you realize that it wasn't for your good. It was for your bad. And now you're having to spend your 40s and your 50s and your 30s unraveling all this stuff. Be prepared for your journey. Know where you want to go. Stay away from the things that are not getting you to where you want to go. Don't be fooled by people who try to get you off track. This is some good stuff right here. I'll be praying for you as you undertake this journey, that our Father gives you wisdom and also places a female mentor in your everyday life, in addition to the wonderful Deborah that you will feel comfortable sharing things with and will guide you in a right direction. Some good YouTube channels for taking care of textured hair care. Mains by Male for curly hair, type 3 hair. Karen of Curl House, coily type 4 hair. If you know your hair type, there are a lot of good YouTube channels that will help you with styling and products. I didn't hear this young lady mention she had any sisters. Some of us, we learned that from our sisters. But like I said, if she has no sister and her father is passed and her mother doesn't have all the skills she needs to help this young lady, this is some good advice. Go out and seek it. YouTube has a lot of bad stuff, but YouTube also has some really good stuff. I had to learn how to take care of my hair from my sisters. But had I had YouTube, honestly, that YouTube would have been better than some of my sisters' advice. The two I recommend focus on hair health as well as styling. Also, Motivational Doc gives really good advice for healthy and physical body issues inside and outside. Everybody is talking here about seeking information. Is what I said about making good decisions. You got to have knowledge. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. In order to make good decisions, you got to have knowledge, which means you have to have a healthy sense of knowing you need help, self-awareness. You got to go out for that. Okay. You got to be an active participant in your own life. You can't just sit back and wait for everything to come to you. You got to be proactive. All of this information and all of these things people are talking about is talking about be a proactive person in your life. But you know what? One thing we're all in agreement on, all of us in these comments, we're all in agreement on the same thing. We don't want her to start with dating right away. Everybody here has reiterated the same thing. All of these aunties in these comments have all reiterated the same thing. And that is, we want you to start with building your confidence, your self-esteem, and strengthening yourself from the inside out. That's what we all been talking about. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. Every single minute of this moment. I want to thank all of you guys who are here, who listened to the end. I want to thank all of my aunties who dropped down in the comments, okay, and cousins who dropped down in the comments to give this young lady some advice. And we all are going to keep her in our prayers, okay? We all are going to be her extended family in our prayers. And feel free to come back anytime and give us another question if you want. And then going on to the next question, I do have another video, and I'm going to wrap that up today and get it ready to be able to post tomorrow, because of the young person, the person did not, she's not a young person, she's an older lady, but she did not want me to play her voice. And so I wanted to be respectful of that, which means I needed to do a little bit of education for myself, because I had to go in and look for all the AI, just like Alice the Great said. I had to figure that out, but I figured it out, and I think it's going to be an interesting conversation with that one as well. But thank y'all for joining me once again. Thank you for joining me once again. And please be sure to add any more to the comment section so this young lady can go back in and even read some more advice. That's it, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.